yo, his verses were crazy. I'm renegade B, but I ain't never bought no whole CD or shady. And all I hear is pop tunes come on the radio. Oh, when they play them 20 times in a row daily, and if everyone maybe.
And got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, no turning back now. I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
John, I believe there's a volume control on your computer, right?
I remember what they taught to me. Remember condescending talk of who I ought to be. Remember listening to all of that and this again. So I pretended I'm a person who is fit and pretend everything is what I want it to be. I look exactly like what you had always wanted to see. When I pretend I can forget about the criminal I am, stealing second after second just cause I know I can. But I can't pretend this is the way it'll stay. I'm just trying to bend the truth. I can't pretend I'm who you want me to be. So I'm lying my way to be like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running from me. Like this isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running from me. So hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, no turning back now. I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go. No turning back now. Let me take back my life. I'd rather pay all alone. No turning back now. Anywhere on my own, 'cause I can say. No turning back now. The very worst part of you is me.
People keep asking to run back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Can you picture my props? Stress in the city, the cops are topping me, the project is full of bullets.
Yeah, Bryce, I don't usually stream tonight, but since you said that I should, I am. Now, if you've been paying attention to WreckTalk like you should, you'd know what nights I stream. Just saying.
The bodies is dropping, they ain't no stopping me. Constantly moving while making millions. Witnessing killings, leaving dead bodies in abandoned buildings. Carries the children cause they're illin'. Addicted to killing and the appeal from the gap villain. Without feeling, but will they last or be blasted? Hard-headed bastard. Maybe you're listening in this casket, the aftermath. More bodies being buried. I'm losing my homies in a hurry. They relocating to the cemetery. Got me worried, stressing my business blurry. The question is, will I live? No one in the world loves me. I'm headed for danger. Don't touch strangers, put one in the chamber whenever I'm feeling this anger. Don't wanna make excuses, cause this is how it is. What's the use unless we're shooting? No one notices the you. It's just me against the world.
And got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, no turning back now. I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go. No turning back now. Let me take back my life. I'd rather pay all alone. No turning back now. Anywhere on my own, 'cause I can say. No turning back now. The very worst part of you is me.
I gave him an impossible task. A job no one could have pulled off. The bodies he buried that day laid the foundation of what we are now.
She smelling like Patron, singing dirty rap song, tiptoeing in the crib like 6 in the morning. Every day it's the
What's going on, everybody? Like I said, I don't normally stream on Thursday nights. In fact, let me fix this here. What is it? Alt? Yeah. But Bryce said that I should stream, so I'm doing it. Plus, we got some things to talk about for sure. We got We got pressure with some Ole Miss people. And I thought we'd go through some comments because for the most part, I don't have a problem with Ole Miss. Fans, that is. C-Dog and I, not C-Dog 18, but C-Dog number 1, called him today, and that's what we're talking about. I don't have any problems with Ole Miss fans. That the Trent guy that we had on the live show last Sunday is a really cool dude. Now, as far as hotty toddy, I still don't know what the hell that is. If that's the idiotic mating call to let all the intelligent people know to stay away, dumb stuff's about to happen. Yeah, I guess, is it a drink? Let me do a little search here. What does Google say if I say, what is hotty toddy? Okay, let's see what Bleacher Report says. Ole Miss and hotty toddy. Just call it the eighth wonder of the world. That's right. There's no concrete answer that explains what hotty toddy truly means. Among some of the more popular suggestions of origin floating around are that it was developed after the why can't I make a V sound? After the Virginia Tech regimental band called the Heidi Tidies, derived from a cheer used throughout World War II associated with the description of a warm alcoholic drink or a term referred to the perceived sentiment of the Ole Miss student body. I'm going to be honest, after reading that, I feel like I understand even less than before I started reading that. I don't care enough to dive into that one bit deeper. But we'll look into some comments because there were some truly, truly stupid comments that were left. Let me go up through the chat real quick. We don't have a ton of people in here. John Burns says, I'm here. Enough with the rap. John, what do you have against rap? You've said this a few times now. Do you want to hear some Willie Nelson music? Or maybe Chris Stapleton. We could do Chris Stapleton next time. The credit booth just said, dude. What? What are you talking about? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. GT Bowhunter says, Bryce is busy currently digesting his honey pepper pimento cheese sandwich. And look, Macho Wreck might have had some things to say about Bryce. You all know I support Bryce. I love Bryce. That being said, it does not surprise me that he likes pimento cheese. I'm just going to leave it there. Pimento cheese is the Jeff Collins of cheeses, and you should avoid it. That's what I think. CDog18 says, get hype. That's right. A lot of people think we're just going to get steamrolled in this game, evidently including Bryce. And from the third for a quarter and a half, I guess they're going to score 20-something points. Could very well happen. I think that the line is moved from 20 to 18 tells you that some people are not so sure, though. CJ in the house says, don't trust SEC fans. I never have. The SEC is absolute garbage. They can't win against a Power 5 opponent, let alone an ACC opponent. And that ain't changing Saturday. Matt in the house, he says he's here for the oral victories. Well, I'll tell you something, Matt. Unlike Bryce, we'll talk about oral victories on the WreckTalk live show. Brennan Simpkins says WreckTalk's thoughts on pimento cheese. Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, if you want to know what good cheese, Colby Jack and Pepper Jack are fantastic, and you can never go wrong with American. Why didn't Bryce like American cheeses? What does he have against America? Just saying. Sorry, not sorry. Hot take on cheeses. Are you a fan of Kiffin? I was before he started taking our players, but I'll tell you this, and I've been asking people this. Look, Lane Kiffin's one of the greatest offensive minds in the country. There's no doubt about that. But as a head coach, and I'm talking about his entire career, what's the best win he's had? What's it against Mike Leach last year? I mean, he doesn't have really any marquee wins that I can think of. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. He just hadn't won the big one yet. So anyways, let's look at some of these comments here. There's one in particular. Oh, by the way, I put Tash Talk in my title instead of Trash Talk. And thankfully, a friend of mine pointed that out, sent me a text. He's like, is it Trash Talk or Tash Talk? So, yeah, you should definitely proofread things before you post them. Don't think he can get to the Natty. When? This year? No. I mean, could he eventually? Yeah, of course. Of course he could win a Natty. This year, no. He doesn't have the defense this year. But here's the thing with Lane. He kind of has the same problem that, like, Lincoln Riley does. And look, Lincoln Riley's a really good coach. But when it's time to play defense, everyone just kind of twiddles their thumbs and says, this is boring. I didn't come here to watch defense. I came here to watch some long balls being thrown. Or Judkins on a big run. What's going on, Mojo? My man Joe Gilbert in the house. Good seeing you Saturday, by the way. Mojo came up, sat next to me and Papa WreckTalk with little Mojo. And I've got those pictures in a community post. But you got to be a member to be able to see those. I also put out a members-only video with kind of a schizophrenic rant on different things that I did. So if you'd like to become a member and see some of these things and get some custom emojis for the live show comments, then there's a join button right under the title of the video. There's also a link in the description for that. You like that seamless segue into the shameless promotion that I do? Also, there's a CashApp and PayPal link in the description. If you like the film breakdown, and I didn't see the first part of Bryce's show, but if he didn't give me credit or at least mention my absolutely top-notch breakdown of both offenses, then that's a crime. Just saying. That's a crime. Because I didn't just say why I think we have the ability to win this game. I laid it out. I brought receipts and I had evidence. Mojo says, hell yeah, man. Great meeting you and Papa Wreck at the game. Now, if you want to know what Papa Wreck looks like, just imagine someone that kind of looks like me but is in shape. That's Papa WreckTalk. Who's texting me? I'm doing a show. Please review the following document. I'm not here to talk about insurance. I'm here to talk about Georgia Tech. USAA can go on somewhere. Well, I guess they still don't know what their mascot is anymore. How many of y'all saw Macho Wreck today? It's not 1860 anymore. I'm glad you got rid of Colonel Reb. Coffee Killer in the house says, evening Wreck, just stopping in real quick. Be back around 10:15 p.m. I'm glad you said 10:15 p.m. And I was afraid you were going to come in 12 hours from now. I'm just pulling your leg, man. This boy Sebastian Lopez has been chirping at me. He says the only funny thing here is y'all thinking G-Tech has a chance. And please improve your video. It's painful to watch. He's commenting on Macho Wreck today. Well, first of all, Sebastian's parents knew he was going to be a loser nobody. That's why they named him Sebastian. Have you ever met someone named Sebastian that you respected? No, he's the kid you don't let sit at the cool kids table and that you point and laugh at. Every school has a Sebastian, and every fan base has a Sebastian. Yeah, I said, yeah, this guy's acting like Ole Miss is Bama or UGA or something. Also, I'm going to put a link to this guy's channel in the description. Trent in the SIP is a pretty cool Ole Miss content creator. Just put a link to his channel in the chat. He commented too and said it was a good breakdown, but hotty toddy. We've already addressed hotty toddy. And even some, we gained some Louisville friends from the videos I did it leading into the Louisville game. Louisville man says, I'll be behind the Jackets for this game. Best of luck, boys. Yeah, and I'm going to be kind of a backseat Louisville fan for the rest of the year because that will make that loss look better for us. And C-Dog got a trash talk video. I'm not sure if he's posted one. I'll look. Jeff Collins. Jeff Collins is in the house? Jeff Collins says, I'm very lonely, looking for a big, strong man to fill the void in my life. Prefer... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's just take a moment of silence for that. Another Louisville fan pulling for us here. Someone says I smack so much he can't focus on what I'm saying. Well, I mean, go watch someone else. But there's one comment in particular that was so dumb I lost brain cells reading it. Here's one from Larry Rutherford. Where is anyone smart enough to realize Lane Kiffin's approach to anti-opposing coaches 411 on the Mississippi Rebels, blinded by silence? I have no idea what he's even trying to say. I guess he's saying that Lane Kiffin has like a good game plan for whatever team he's playing. Well, just say that, man. Like, why all this pageantry? Blinded by silence? This ain't World of Warcraft. Trying to cast silence on us so we can't do spells or something. What the hell is he talking about? Sebastian also says, okay, you want to bet? Ole Miss will beat y'all by 20. Sure. How much? Now, obviously, I'm not going to bet this guy because if I win, he's going to disappear. All right. Here's the guy that is Dusty Flair. Says, dude, Georgia Tech in their best year ever couldn't beat USC. Didn't Paul Johnson beat USC when Lane Kiffin was there and then they fired him on the tarmac? I mean, and here's a comment that's in the running for dumbest comment of the year. Dusty Flair says, these two wide receivers you are referring to really had no playing time coming into the year. Yeah, so it's not an issue that their top two wide receivers are out. Also, their top tight end is hurt. Also, they have a lineman hurt. But that's not a problem, guys, because their top two wide receivers didn't play there last year. So, like, if Haynes King gets injured, not a problem because he didn't play here last year. I wasn't aware of that. Sylvan Yanjuan, he transferred all the way from Belgium to the United States, so that's not a problem that he's injured. What an idiot. But I think that that's the majority of, or not that's a minority of Ole Miss fans. Every fan base has some idiots. I blocked one recently that likes to comment on my videos because it makes my life easier. I'm not a ban-happy guy, but if you kind of make a career of just annoying me with stupidity, then I'm going to block you. Just the way it is. Also, he didn't follow instructions and he never called into the live show. Because he's a baby back bitch just like his mama raised him to be. So I'm done with him. Brennan says, you a Warcraft guy? No, I've actually never played Warcraft, to be honest with you. Cellulite, what's going on, man? Says, let's go Buffs. So I guess you're not a Colorado fan, right? You're a Deion Sanders fan, I'm assuming. For anyone not making the trip, Ole Miss Tech Volleyball is hosting UGA at McCamus tomorrow night. Ole Miss football, whoever that is, says, on my mama, we gonna win. Well, you might be a mom short coming up Sunday. Ole Miss football, what do you think the score is going to be? And are you at all concerned with having half of your offensive starters injured? Is that a problem in your estimation? Now, the only injuries I'm aware that we have are Chase Lane, which does hurt. Hurts having Chase Lane out. 420 to 69, Ole Miss. Okay, you're just a troll. This is fun. I'll tell you what. I'll open up the StreamYard Ole Miss football if you want to call in a second. I have a feeling you won't, though, because most people that are trolls are not going to call in. What's going on, Porter? I don't see Ole Miss running us out of the stadium. I really do think that game will be less than 10 points. You know, it's very possible, if not likely, Ole Miss wins. But I feel like I laid out pretty well. I mean, Ole Miss does have some problems. When you're in cover 3 and right in your defensive back's zone, you have 2 wide open guys. That's a problem. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? In fact, let me pull it up so that Ole Miss football can see it, because he probably doesn't watch WreckTalk like he should. Oh, C-Dog did put out a trash talk video. Good deal. I'm going to pull up a little clip here, Ole Miss football. I want you to explain it to me. I want you to explain yourself. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. There it is. Now, let's get to where the play happens. Now, Ole Miss football, you probably don't know what cover 3 is. That's fine. Explain this to me, Ole Miss football. And by the way, he threw it to this guy. I mean, how you get beat twice, he throws it to the least wide open guy. And they still score on you here. Do you have any concerns about your coverage? Because you should. What's going on, Patience? Good to see you in here. By the way, how many of y'all are going to the game? Any of y'all making the trip? It's only about 5 hours, a little over 5 hours for me. I'm going to leave that morning and come back the same day with Papa Rec. What's going on, Andrew? No way that person is older than 18. Patience will be there. And I'm sitting in section O, which is right like 34 rows up around the 50. So I'm going to be surrounded by Ole Miss people. I'm not going to be sitting with all the Tech people. I'll tell you what I've also been told, because Judkins has not played to what his expectation is in the first 2 games. And I've been told, well, yeah, that's because our offensive line has struggled, so we're good. I'm like, well, we've had good running backs in the past too, and we didn't have good offensive line play. The result is the same. The result is you struggle to run the ball. Like I've said, both these offenses are similar, and we're going to have similar game plans. All right, I think both defenses are going to try and bring pressure, and it's going to come down to who can win man-on-man matchups. Mid McDonald says, Rick, we need to pull off an upset Saturday to make up for the Louisville game. We really need to win either Louisville or wait. I know that, and then we need to pick up another game somewhere. So, yeah, it would be huge to get 2 wins on the road here. And like I said, no one's given Tech much of a chance in this game. I'll tell you this, I do think we're more talented than Tulane, and I do think we'll be a tougher out for Louisville than Tulane. That I can say for sure. I mean, let me look at Ole Miss's stats for this year. Ole Miss, because even like Haynes King and Jackson Dart stats are very similar. They both have, I think, 7. I think Haynes has 7 touchdowns and Jackson has 6, both on 1 interception. See what we can find here. Here we go. Like we know, really good offense. So Judkins only has 108 rushing yards on the year. And then your second leading rusher is your quarterback. Has Haynes ever beaten Ole Miss? I don't know what game, because he was injured a lot at Texas A&M, so I don't know. I'd have to go look and see. I'm not sure. Who's their leading receiver? Trey Harris is most likely out for this game, but don't worry, guys. He didn't play for them last year, so losing their leading wide receiver isn't a big deal. So they have Kilo Stone has a sack. Jared Ivey. This is like the who's of Tech's players. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sacks on the year. Okay. I mean, it's going to come down to what defense can play better, most likely. Most likely. I wonder what C-Dog said in his video. Georgia Tech about to derail the Lane train. I am going to bring a mustard bottle and a golf ball. See if I can get Lane to sign them. I think that'll be worth some money. Am I going to Winston-Salem? I'm thinking about it. It's probably about the same distance for me as Oxford is. Oh, thanks, Patience. You tagged me. Enjoying the car ride while watching WreckTalk. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Let me just take a sneak peek here at C-Dog. See what he's saying.
I want to address
Oh, my headphones cut off.
some concerns I have over this Saturday's game against Ole Miss, okay? For some reason, a lot of people are underrating my Jackets
That's
in
right.
this matchup, and what only I can assume is ignorance. Because clearly we're a much better team this year than last. If you've watched our games, it's obvious. If you watched any of us last year and any of us this year, it's obvious we're much better than last year. For some reason, we're still coming out as 20 and a half point underdogs against teams like Ole Miss, and I just don't get it. I mean, obviously easy money. I laid down money this Saturday. I laid down some on the money line.
Does he have a banana outfit on or something?
Plus 840 odds my Jackets have of beating Ole Miss, and it's crazy that I can get that good of money because it's not that big of a gap between Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. In fact, I think Georgia Tech can win. Okay, Ole Miss is not even the toughest game we play on our schedule. So, hate to tell you, but I'll see you guys Saturday night. I'm stoked for this game. I'm stoked for my Jackets to come out with a huge upset victory. I know a lot of people are saying that, this game.
Yeah. So, hold on, let me flip over here. C-Dog took Georgia Tech on the money line this week, which is pretty bold. But yeah, plus 840. I think he might be okay. By the way, I forgot to mention it, but I appreciate you guys. We just hit 1,300 subscribers, so that definitely feels good. I appreciate all the support. We got the delusional Tar Heel Miami out here playing a high school JV team on Thursday. Yeah, I mean, they had a pretty convincing win over Texas A&M. So who do they play? Bethune-Cookman. So they played Bethune-Cookman, Texas A&M, and they played Miami of Ohio. C-Dog loves throwing money in the toilet. Luke, do you have your crow yet? Are you ready to eat your crow when the time comes, literally? Brennan says, nah, he never started against them. King, that is. Here's the thing, though. It is nice to have Haynes King, a guy that's used to playing in these SEC environments. And it's going to be a tough environment. But I was looking at their stadium. I don't think it holds a ton of people, though. Let's see. How many seats in Ole Miss's stadium? Who's more back, FSU, Miami, or Texas? FSU, 100%. Patient says 66K. This says 64. Oh, okay. It's 66,176. They don't their stadium, that's kind of surprising, doesn't hold a lot more than Georgia Tech's does. Doesn't hold a lot more than Tech's. I mean, let's looky here. So I think I'm going to be sitting like right about here. Either here or over here. I'm not sure. Somewhere in this area. Virginia Tech has a bigger stadium. They do. Nah. Patience, what's your prediction? And you're driving, but Jay Sal says I would be at the game if not for fall weddings. They should be illegal. Yeah. People who get married in the fall are the worst. Just be like, odds are it's not going to work out anyways. Like what? How many marriages end in divorce percentage-wise? So why should I waste a Saturday of college football on it? I think that's fair. It should be illegal, though. You are absolutely correct. But I guess I'll Ole Miss 31, Tech 24. Yeah, I think the line should be about 14 points. That's what I think would be a lot more reasonable, in my opinion. So I'll put a link to the StreamYard. I'd like to see some Tech fans call in. See what y'all think, or Ole Miss. If whoever Ole Miss football is, I don't even know if that was an Ole Miss fan. I think that was just a general troll. But call in. We can have a discussion. Let me know what you think. I wish that Dusty Flair was watching, so he could explain to me how having your top wide receiver isn't an issue. Even like, it doesn't matter where he played last year. Bing Bryce 34-32 Tech, really 42-30 Ole Miss. I just have a good feeling. I got a good feeling about this Saturday. And really, I say that, and I don't see anyone else talking about it. They do have a good number of injuries going into this game. And I do think they could get caught looking at Alabama and saying, hey, we can beat Tech, and even if these guys are ready to play that are injured, let's rest them a game so they're 100% for Alabama. Also, have you seen all the people saying there's like all this smoke about Saban retiring? I don't know about all that. 35-14 Mississippi. Could be a trap game for the Rebs. I mean, it could be. It could be. I'm not as scared of Ole Miss as people think that I should be. Yeah, and I do think, to your point, CJ, our defense will take a step up. Like I said, Braylon Oliver to me looked really good, especially as a run stopper. I would really like to see a lot of Braylon Oliver in this game with Ternelius Tatum. And Patience, since you're in here, in fact, let me pull up the depth chart. Patience, have you noticed Andre White is 4th on the depth chart? Do you know what's going on with that? That kind of surprised me. I haven't heard nary a thing about him. Georgia Tech depth chart. Oh, also, it's basketball. I know it's football season. We signed a top 50 basketball recruit, Dante Stoudemeyer, doing some work on the basketball recruiting front. All right. Let's take a look at our depth chart here. Man, they've got Ethan McKinney starting at left tackle. Wow. About that. True freshman. Someone just commented, I believe Lane is playing possum, not wanting to show his hand before the Bama game. I see Georgia Tech giving the Rebels a good game, and it may be closer than what experts predict. See y'all in Oxford Saturday. HYDR. Does anyone know what HYDR means? Anyways, we got Fusel starting at left guard. This is good to see. I'm really proud of Joe Fusel, man. Like, what a guy. What a player. Weston Franklin starting at center. Connor Scaglione at right guard. That's the guy who transferred from Princeton. And Jordan Williams moved to right tackle. Okay. Well, now we've moved some people around on the front. Mojo, I'd love for you to call in and we can kind of talk about this offensive line front. You definitely know more about it than I do. How has Blaylock played at wide receiver? He's played okay, Porter. He caught a touchdown against South Carolina State that looked really good. Really, the more important thing with him is he's been really good as a punt returner. What's going on, Mojo?
Hey, what is going on, WreckTalk? How we doing?
Doing good. We got a former player in the house. You played right guard, right?
Left guard.
Left guard.
Left guard, but close. One of those guards.
Well, when Mojo was at the game, I kept asking him questions Saturday as if he was a defensive lineman. I'm like, man, holding pisses me off. Did you ever get held? And Mojo's like, well, I held people, but yeah, I didn't play defense. I don't know what's wrong with you.
No, I get it.
What do you think about McKinney starting at left tackle as a true freshman?
Honestly, I like it. Like, I was a little surprised because if there was one younger player to jump up and get the tackle spot, I was expecting Tyler Gibson, Zach Gibson's brother, who pretty highly recruited tackle, who was a true freshman last year. But McKinney, I liked what I saw out of him, and the line play was a lot more cohesive last week. Like I like Jordan Williams anywhere he's on the ball or anywhere he's on the field, but the line seems to gel a lot better when he is out at tackle instead of when he's moved inside at guard. So I liked seeing that, and of course, I always love seeing my boy Joe Fusel just out there mauling people.
Oh yeah. And Jordan Williams, he's got a little more height and size on him. He's listed 6'6", 304. He's probably better placed at tackle, to your point.
Oh yeah. I mean, I always just assumed he was getting some reps at guard, trying to prep for the next level. And that's all speculation on my part because it seems like he started for us at tackle since he was a true freshman, I believe. I want to say he came in with Jeff Sims and Jahmyr Gibbs. I want to say he was a part of that recruiting class.
Okay.
And he's been killing it at tackle for us forever. So I like seeing him there. And Scaglione, saw some ups and downs out of him coming in at guard next to Williams. I'm hoping things playing out a little bit. Mainly it was in the pass protection. I saw some pass pro mistakes on Scaglione that I hope we get cleaned up because obviously the Ole Miss defensive line going to be a lot stouter than the Bulldogs of South Carolina State.
Yeah, that's for sure. In fact, let me go ahead. I'm gonna prep something real quick.
Well, yeah. Well, I was just gonna say I queued up the Tulane Ole Miss film last night. Just couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd watch some of it. And I am not impressed by that offensive line. And granted, Tulane has a great program. They have really built something there in the past couple of years. But you got the caliber of athlete they're recruiting to Tulane. It's not anything more than we've got at Tech's defensive line athletically on paper.
Right.
There's nobody on that line that's any better than us. It's going to come down to how the coaching has done. How they've prepared in the preseason, and if they come in, with a chip on their shoulder and ready to play some hard-nosed ball, I think we could see a really competitive game. And I'm not putting money on it because I ain't got money to throw down on gambling right now. But if I were, but if I were, man, that money line that C-Dog was talking about, that sounds real appealing. If I was a betting man, that's what I'd do.
Yeah. So I've got I don't know if you're able to watch it while you're on StreamYard. I'm just looking. I think this is the touchdown we threw to Dominique Blaylock. Just want to see how our offensive line is. I'm trying to see who's where. I don't know what their numbers are without pulling up the depth chart again. See how we look up front. Oh,
Let's see if I can watch it here.
This is okay. This is a running play, so I was wrong. Can you see it?
No, it's not coming through the StreamYard. Let's see. Maybe I can queue up my computer real quick.
All right. I'll switch screens here while you're doing that. Our O-line sucked in the first quarter of what game? Brennan.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some ups and downs, but I don't know that I would say we sucked. Like,
No.
There were definitely some rough moments at times, but I still have confidence that this is going to be a very solid offensive line if they come together and really gel over the next couple of weeks. Especially, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it is well better than it was last year. That I know for sure. As far as how they play as a unit, and just kind of picking up different things. Because look, in fact, walk me through that, like a team. Because like when I broke down film, and I think Ole Miss is going to do a lot of this, stunting up front. So when the guy in front of you, all of a sudden, he's out of your responsibility, and then the tackle wraps around or something. How difficult is that to kind of, in a split second, figure out who do I need to pick up? Because they're going everywhere.
Brother, that is one of the hardest things there is to learn. And honestly, a lot of it there was a whole period set aside specifically for preparing for stunts. And that was also a one-on-one drill. Like a lot of folks will do one-on-one pass rush drill, but what we did it under Gailey, there was a whole nother period set aside for, all right, it's going to be a stunt drill. And it's not always going to be a stunt that keep you on your toes. Sometimes it's going to be a straight rush, but developing that timing and not only the timing, the coordination of knowing, okay, you have to recognize real quick, if you're a guard and you see all of a sudden that three technique, that 2-eye takes a stutter step or he's not coming hard, you have to immediately shift because that defensive end is coming down on you.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be spiking straight through. And Derek Morgan was one of the toughest guys to do that against because the way it would happen, Derek Morgan would he'd just leg drive and he'd take the tackle and he'd take you and collapse down, and then the three technique would just kind of wrap around. So that was one of the hardest things to prepare for, and obviously didn't have to do it as much once the triple option came.
Right.
But developing that feel, and that's legitimately a feeling. Like you have to see it, recognize it, and then bump off the tackle. You know, there was a switch call, so you yell switch, you bump into the tackle, and then that tackle needs to know, okay, I've been blocking and holding up this defensive line or the defensive end spiking in. Now all of a sudden I've got to disengage, trust that my guard has this D end, and look around because there's going to be a big three technique wrapping around, and you gotta be ready to pick up him, and
you've got a second to figure that out after because obviously you don't know they're stunning until the ball snapped, right? And we're just talking about stunning with the defensive front. But a lot of times, like you were talking about Derek Morgan coming down on you or something, he might not really be concerned with getting to the quarterback. He's concerned with freeing up a linebacker that's now blitzing off the stunt. So now you've got another guy coming in. So you might then have to trust, well, hopefully, I mean, there's so many different permutations of how this can go, right? And this is why, like I said, this is the greatest sport in the history of the world. But you might have, if your running backs in to pass protect, you might have to trust that okay, I'm going to trust the running back's going to pick him up, and we're going to take care of what's right in front of us or whatever. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yep, I got the game, or I got the video queued up on my computer here.
All right, so it looks like we're running. I guess this is Haynes up the middle. Let's see. Also, they're in. I guess this is their corner. I'm not sure. 3 linebackers, 4 down. Looks like we got a pretty good hole opened up there. So.
We are on a time delay, but I will be commenting on that in another 10-ish seconds.
All right, I'll just hold it there.
Live stream crap catches up,
and then I'm after this. I just got it.
Maybe
paused.
not. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm on the YouTube stream. I'm just seeing you and me. I'm not seeing the play.
Hold on. That's because I'm an idiot. Now
I won't hear that slander about you, WreckTalk. Don't.
No, well,
okay, here we go.
Yeah, so it looks like we got a nice hole opened up. Let me just step it back a second. Yeah, up to here it looks good. Now I know we're playing South Carolina State, but
yeah, see that's great. Fusel is up on the backside linebacker. McKinney is cut off. I think that was the 3 technique. And we got Weston up on front side linebacker with our guard and tackle on the right side. Looks like they're both kicking out. It looks like the right guard's about to get him a pancake on that 3 technique.
Right here?
No, that's Weston going up on backer.
Here.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So that is a great job by the center and guard comboing up, because it's not quite as much timing to learn, but the art of the double team is it takes a while to get the feel for it and to understand the timing of it, because that backside guard, he's scraping. He can't just vacate that backside 3 technique, but the backs are, because he's got to chip up so the backside tackle can cut that guy off. But he also can't spend much time on him because he has to get that backside linebacker before he flows over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like we do score here. I mean, just a lot of push. Looks good. Now, I'm going to back up here. Now, we're going to be looking at wide receivers. This is the play that's yet to really work well for us. We hit Chase Lane for a good completion, actually a touchdown against Louisville. But this is what I was talking about. We've got to be a lot better with blocking wide receivers out on the perimeter, because we've whiffed on these blocks every time except like the one time we hit it for a good completion. I think this is it here. Haynes is going to get it and throw it out quick. And then I don't know who this is. He's going to whiff on the block. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is Chase Lane. He doesn't have a chance. We don't block anybody.
Yeah.
In fact, this guy's sitting on his rear here like, you know what he's thinking? I'm not looking forward to film breakdown later. I'm going to look dumb.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was coming up to block that guy that's set up to make the tackle. It looks like he didn't even know who he was going for or who his assignment was to start the play, because it looked like halfway through he's like, I kind of run after that guy that's already past me.
The angle he takes is too, like, as far as I can tell, if he's supposed to be blocking this corner, he should be coming straight to him. If anything, he should be coming really flat. Look, he gets way upfield. Now he doesn't have a chance at making this block. So yeah, this has got to be better. And then these guys are like, hey, we did our job. We did our quarter of a second blocking. Come on now. Come on. And I think we try and run it the next play. Or hold on.
Let's see. They queue up the same one. back to back. Because I mean, it looked like something would have been there if.
What was this? Yeah, we just try running it over here, and we get the same result. Yeah, it's gotta be
Okay. Well, if that's if that's the exact same draw up, that might be on either the play call or the positioning. Because those wide receivers are not in the right position to make that block. And so they're starting like way inside of the guy, and they're trying to come out and make a block on a guy that's already lined up outside of him with a better angle on the ball.
Okay, I don't know what the result of this play is. It looks like I think this is Christian Leary, when we motion him out, it's usually he's either getting the ball or some kind of RPO. I'll let Slim in too. I don't know how long you're going to stay, Slim, depending on how much trash you want to talk. But we're breaking down some film. What's going on, Slim?
Well, I was sitting here watching your breakdown, and to be honest, you're not filling me with confidence. I have a bet that Georgia Tech covers the spread.
What are you not confident about? I would think our defense, and that's fair.
Yes, your defense. Because I've actually watched your videos this week.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, we have to play Georgia Tech, so I want to see, what they're doing. And yes, you're specifically this week, your defense worries me badly.
Well, they worry us too. I mean, that's where I think I even said I don't have any reason to think or any evidence to support it's going to get a whole lot better, but I do think it's going to get better. But yeah,
it's a fair point of concern for sure. But
yeah, this is an RPO. This is an RPO where we hand it off. I'm trying to get a look at the offensive line.
All right, I think we got.
Yeah, this guy gets
up on the.
He gets turned out, and then I guess he's going to come pick up. I guess that's our linebacker. Yeah. And
we're looping the H back to come get that play side linebacker. Yeah.
And here's the thing. Now this should give you confidence, Slim. Jamal Haynes looks really good at running back, and our wide receiver room looks pretty good, and Haynes King looks pretty good. Now this hole isn't open, but about a quarter a second. But that's all it takes for Haynes, and he's close to breaking that one.
Right. Well.
That's not even Haynes. That's Travion Cooley.
And listen, I don't think like Ole Miss has this world beater defense, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say it's probably the best defense Georgia Tech has seen this year so far.
I think Louisville has a better defense.
Maybe.
Or it's not clear to me. I think they have more speed on their defense than Ole Miss has. And, that
I would agree with, because Louisville's probably one of the fastest teams in the country.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, after I watched that game, that was the first thing I said. That's a fast team. That's a really fast team. All right, we're going to throw the ball downfield here. We motion later. And by the way, we do a lot of motion. And I talked about in the breakdown, the nice thing with motion is it will tip a lot of, or it can if they're in man coverage, because you'll just have someone following that guy in motion out. If you know they're in man, and like you have Blaylock on the outside, and if they're pressed, then you probably know it's Haynes King. I'm going to take a shot downfield. I think we do take a shot here. And also, I wanted to mention this. I said this in the breakdown too, Mojo. If the tough thing with RPOs, and both these teams like to run them, is at linebacker, like if I'm playing linebacker, I'm looking at guard, center, guard, and then whatever way the running back is leaning to go. And then if the guard pulls and I can look at the direction of running back, I know I don't have to worry about coverage. But not the case with RPOs. You still get burnt throwing the football. I'm sure that's something else you work on too, right? Like if you're pulling, I'm sure in your head you're like, I need to get out there quick. and you might tip that you're pulling because you're leaning a little bit that way.
Oh, yeah, and that is one of the first things they coach you to try to get rid of. You got to make your stance the same every time, and it is difficult because you have to, and you want your stance to look the same, no matter what the play is, run, pass, pull, or whatever. But a smart linebacker can pick up on little things, and sometimes it's not even your stance. Like a lot of the times, if you run up and your eyes are only on the defensive line, and then all of a sudden you're eyeing backside linebacker, a smart linebacker will catch that and say, "Oh, something's coming." So
that's true. You're just like the quarterback staring down his target at guard. You're staring down your target as far as your blocking responsibility. So he knows, all right, he's coming after me. See, guys, you're not going to get this anywhere else. WreckTalk brings you the in-depth football knowledge. Go ahead, Slim.
I was going to say you can have those advantages too of knowing habits in conference games. And that's not an advantage you necessarily have this coming up week against Ole Miss because you've only played them once and you're not going to play them again for the foreseeable future.
That's true, but tell me if you agree with this, like either one of you guys. I really don't think Louisville is going to do something wildly different than they've ever done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to see a lot of things Saturday that they haven't showed in film, I don't think. Now, there's going to be some little wrinkles they might throw in. But I didn't realize, like, with South Carolina State, and they did gash us on defense a little bit. Obviously, I'm not sitting here watching South Carolina State before we play them because I have better things to do with my time. But they're not really an option team, and they just came out and ran the option.
And, well, while you don't have necessarily the familiarity you might have with a conference opponent that you've seen 2-3 times year in and year out, the thing I'm excited about, while Jared Ivey is having a good year and Akilo Stone seems to be a good rotational player, you know what those guys are going to do. As an offensive lineman, the guys that have been there, the Jordan Williams, I think Weston Franklin was there when Jared Ivey was still on the team. You really understand what the defensive linemen on your team, their tendencies and their favorite, whatever their preferred pass rush move is, and you can pick up on a lot of that. So I'm hoping that maybe that's a little bit of an ace in the hole. Jordan Williams is going to know what Jared Ivey's bringing, and same thing with a few of the interior guys. So, and of course that can work the opposite way. Jared Ivey knows what Jordan likes to do with his pass protection. So it could be a double-edged sword, but I think in that situation it plays more to the advantage of the offense having that familiarity.
For sure. Now, in this play, we actually get a crucial block by Malik Rutherford here on the edge that allows the back to get outside here and then do a good job up front too. But look, he turns him right here. This is a really good block by the wide receiver to open it up. And even downfield here, he can get outside. That's really I'm not as worried about our offensive line play going into Ole Miss. I think we're going to be okay. I'm more worried about blocking at wide receiver. So
and that's something that, especially in the run game, can't be understated.
No, and I mean that's something that was really interesting under the triple option with us, like Demaryius Thomas and like Smelter. We had some really good blocking wide receivers that were also studs catching the ball. I think this is the Blaylock touchdown. So they're stacking the box here, and they do bring pressure. So let's see, Joe, how we pick that up. Crap. It's hard for me to pause really quick without it busting out of it. Do a pretty good job.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That was an X stunt by the looks like the Mike linebacker and the 3 technique.
Yeah,
You
he
can
kind
see
of
the
comes.
guard and the tackle.
Yeah, he kind of comes up and then in. Yeah, then he pivots, and we pick it up.
Yep.
Gives him time.
Yep.
And look at this throw Haynes Kings makes. This guy is not wide open here, and he puts it in the only spot. You see the touch? A little touch pass.
Yeah, a little just floats it up for him.
Look good. Look good. All right. So I think we're going to be okay on offense. Let's look at Ole Miss Tulane.
Well, and I think that's an advantage Georgia Tech has had thus far in the season, and I think is going to continue this week. You haven't really had a world beater defense to worry about yet. And, I mean, you're going to have to worry about some of that as we get into ACC play, and we'll see what Georgia Tech's offense is really made of.
This is true. So, in this play, this is an RPO, and they're in, to me, a cover 3 look. You can see these 3 guys out here. So, they should have deep thirds. So, he'll have this third of the field, he'll have this third, and he'll have this third. Yeah. That's what they're in. They fake the RPO. And then, yeah, this guy does a good job. He's running like a drag, but he notices the linebackers here, and he does a good job at getting upfield. Like, this is where the space is. And they do block that well. Good throw. And he knows he's about to take a lick there, too. So he does a good job at holding on to the ball because that DB is screaming down. Boom. And I get it, Slim. This is what worries me, too, with them. Obviously, I'm watching highlights, so all of these are going to be probably big plays.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're gonna cherry pick the good stuff. But, I mean, even then, it just basic football knowledge. Lane Kiffin is an elite offensive mind, maybe the best in college football. And I actually think you can see some things that you're not expecting because Ole Miss came into the season expecting to be a predominantly run team, and their pass game has turned out to be better than I think even Ole Miss thought it was going to be.
Well, yes, and I think that's out of circumstance because their run game has struggled. So they've had to throw a lot. So they're going to fake the run here, and this is what worries you if you're a Georgia Tech fan. The DB here, I mean, they run a slant here. They got 2 guys on them, whiff on the tackle. And we've had tackling issues. I mean, you've got to be able to get this guy down. This guy takes a bad angle in here, but they actually kind of run into each other.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest things I noticed from this game. A lot of Ole Miss's big pass plays come from yards after catch, and it's from either missed tackles or just the wide receivers breaking tackles. And I'm expecting a lot better out of our secondary. Because, I mean, we were supposed to have a very solid one. I mean, I'm still waiting for that to really show itself.
You know, that's something where Miami can bite you this year too, because that's something I've been harping on for years. It's something I want to see out of, you know, my football team is yak yards. And like you pointed out, Ole Miss will kill you doing that. And that's something you're going to have to worry about going forward playing Miami. I mean, they had 240 yards after contact last week.
We got Colby in the house. What's going on, Colby?
What's up, boys? Beat Ole Miss, please.
We're trying to. Looking at Tulane here. They're in a cover 2 look, but then the safety Oh, sorry, Colby. Then the safety rolls down a little here, and it looks like they got a seam up the middle, which freezes all. All three of these guys are kind of sitting on that, and they're able to throw it over the top of them. What happened to their? What happened to this guy? He gets beat. See, this should make you feel better, Slim and Colby. This is a backup quarterback that's making these throws. And it's not like they're not in a passing preventative defense. I mean, look at this other guy. This is the thing I've noticed with Ole Miss's defense. They often get themselves out of position. So this guy here is screaming down, takes himself out of the play. He can't see his momentum's all going this way. Now he can't make a play on the ball.
I don't even know what he was running towards.
He was running somewhere.
Awful angle.
That looks like them Colin coach teams where it's like, they were running 21 miles an hour in the wrong direction, but they were running 21 miles an hour.
That's something I saw out of Miami defenses when Al Golden was the coach. And yes, you absolutely need to have speed on your defense, especially laterally, sideline to sideline. But, I mean, speed for speed's sake, like you just pointed out, if you're overrunning every play, what good does it do you?
It actually works against you because you've now taken yourself out of the play. So here's another concerning thing with their defense. Tulane should not just be able to push this Ole Miss front around. Now, they're in a Wildcat formation, which if you don't know what that is, they don't have their quarterback. They're going to direct snap it to the halfback. Their quarterback might be at the top of the screen, though. I don't know why they do that in Wildcats. Like, you're not going to give it to the quarterback. Why is he even out there? But they open up a nice hole right here. I mean, me, Slim, Colby, or Joe could run through this hole.
Well, I think Tulane is a little better than you're giving them credit for. I mean, that was a very good team last year.
They were.
Oh, yeah.
They're a very well-coached team. I'm just saying if you look at the talent differential on paper between Tulane and Ole Miss, Tulane should not be able to push them around up front like they were able to do.
Well, I agree with that to a point, but, I mean, in college football, we pretty much see it every week, don't we? I mean, teams that are less talented than another beat the more talented team.
I mean, guys, that's an ass-whooping up front. Joe, would you consider that an ass-whooping up front?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Well, it's good. The tackle washed the end down, guard pulled around, and that I don't think that end or that outside linebacker, he doesn't lay a hand on him until he's in the end zone.
Hey, let me ask you this, WreckTalk. Who does Ole Miss play next weekend?
Ooh, they play Bama in Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
And then they come home and play LSU. So
that's maybe a little look ahead kind of game.
Well,
this weekend?
It could be. I don't think coaches necessarily fall into that. What I think is realistic there is that Ole Miss is not going to want to break out everything in their playbook because they're going to want to save that for the next two games, right?
See, I agree with you there.
I don't buy into that at all. I don't think coaches hide their playbook or anything like that.
See, I think coaches don't overlook it, but players definitely do.
Well, look, Lane doesn't like Nick, and Lane really wants to beat Alabama. So if he's got a really high percentage gadget play and he feels like he can keep it in his pocket so Bama don't have film on it, I think he's going to do that.
100%. 100% agree.
A minute 19 left. Miami gives up the shutout. Jesus Christ.
What's the score on that, Slim?
What did the score turn out?
Well, 48-7 or 6 right now.
Oh, so you're telling me Miami scored more points than they have fans in the seats?
No,
good one.
We're not Georgia Tech. We still average 40-something thousand.
Oh, bulls! There is no way there's 20,000 people in that stands.
Well, not for I said average. That's our average for the season is like 45,000. There was 48,000.
Miami people can't count. That's not accurate.
No, they've learned to count since 2000, sir.
See, all I've heard about, and I'll let you get back to it real quick, WreckTalk. MLS just bought a new stadium in the middle of Miami, and Miami fans have been talking about there's no land to buy a stadium for college football.
No,
We have all the money in the world, but we
places
there's just no land to buy it. But when the MLS comes along, they buy a stadium.
Nobody said that, Colby. There's nowhere to put one in Coral Gables.
Maybe you didn't say that, but a lot of Miami fans say that.
No, there's plenty of places for them to put one in Miami.
No one cares about Miami. So anyway.
Yeah.
This is an example of what we need to do up front and getting creative. This is a stunt that the end and this defensive tackle are going to stunt. I think they're going to cross, and they're going to get a sack off of it. Now, Tulane wasn't even set when they snapped this ball, by the way. And they're still able. Like, look at this guy. He's like, the hell are we doing again? What are we doing? And then they snap the ball, and he's like, oh, shit, yeah, I got to actually play football.
Which way do I go, George?
So, look, the end wraps around. So now you got both of these guys tied up with the end, which is not good.
Yep.
Then they go out to pick up the end, and the tackle releases and gets a sack. Now, Joe, what went wrong here for Ole Miss?
That is going to be on the tackle, 57. So when the three technique, he's spiking outside, and what he is trying to do is take up both players, both the guard and tackle. And what the tackle should be doing once, like you can see the defensive end has kind of stopped his advance and he's getting ready to loop. At this point, the tackle's got to rock back and take over that three technique so that the guard can switch off and get that end looping around inside. And the guard does what he's supposed to do. He's blocking him, but the tackle is so bad out of position, he can't recover. And so the guard's released at this point onto the end that's looping, and the three technique, he just goes free because nobody's left to block him. So that's on 57 right there.
And he just stood straight up here. If you're playing tackle here, what's going through 57's head right now, Joe?
He's like shit. That's gonna look bad on Monday. Indeed, that's what he's thinking.
Now, did you ever have a quarterback soar with you? Like you take a sack there in a pivotal moment, it's like, come on, Joe, damn.
No, not really. Josh was always a pretty level-headed guy, and I didn't give up too many sacks against him. Although there was one time we were playing Mississippi State, and Josh was out, and Jabo Shaw was back there playing quarterback, and I got beat. And Jabo gets the ball off, and it goes for a touchdown. But Jabo got absolutely mollywopped because of me. It was one of those, you just kind of sheepishly walk back. I picked him. I was like, hey man, you okay? Like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, and Jabo was not a big dude. Like, at least with Nesbitt. I mean, what did Nesbitt bench? Do you remember? Josh Nesbitt's who we're talking about.
Let's see. I don't know for a fact what his bench numbers were. But
it had to be like 315 or more, I would think.
Oh, no. It was – I want to say it was in the upper threes. I want to say it was around 350 plus for Nesbitt. I don't know if he got all the way to 4, but he was a beast in the weight room.
Joe, what was your max, your best bench max?
Personal best, I got up to 400 when I was at Georgia State. And that was I did that one time, and I don't know if I could do it.
Were you at Georgia State when y'all played Tennessee?
I was not. That was they played Tennessee shortly after I left, but we got beat pretty badly. And then I was watching over that Labor Day when we played Tennessee and won up in Knoxville. Which that was a fun Saturday.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, if y'all don't know, Joe was on the '09 ACC championship team, and then his last year of eligibility played at Georgia State, right?
Yeah, but last 2 years I was
Okay.
at Tech for 3, and then State for my last 2. Yeah, good times. Very, very fortunate. Got to play a couple of different places, and I played a few SEC stadiums. Got to play it in Bryant Denny for Georgia State one year. It was a fun experience.
Hey, kind of off topic, Joe. Do you know of the school called Southern Poly?
Oh yeah, I had an uncle that graduated Southern Poly before they ended up merging with Kennesaw.
Oh yeah, okay.
And-
Yeah, I used to play soccer for them.
Oh really?
Yeah, the
Nice.
year they merged, the year they merged is the year they took my scholarship away and made a lacrosse team. Yeah, they merged with Kennesaw actually.
Lame.
I thought they took away soccer and gave it to lacrosse.
Yeah, that's what the deal was.
Don't make no sense to me, Colby.
Now,
Yeah.
Joe, is this a hold for 78?
Like, if we're going by, like, he's got about a half a second to let go of it before it's a hold.
All right,
Let's
he
see if we
does.
can see it in the flow.
Yeah, I'll just
let's
play at
see.
full speed. This looks like a coverage sack to me. I mean, he has a little bit of time. I just don't think he had anywhere to go with the football.
It's
So
not
the
a
lick-
hold if a flag don't get thrown.
And he released it right when he needed to, because the refs will let you get away with having your arm extended a little bit, but as soon as they see that defender's jersey or his shoulder pads move, knowing that you're grabbing and pulling him back, that's when they'll get you every time. So you can and a lot of offensive line play is just about finding that line to know exactly what you can get away with before they will throw the flag.
Joe, we got to get you to the Slob Olympics, buddy. We do.
Shoot, when y'all gonna make it up there?
It's
I'm new
March
to Slob
usually.
Olympics.
It's usually
Yeah, we
March.
do it. It's usually the first or second weekend of March, and we vary where it's at. It'd be in
Yeah, viewer discretion
Panama City
advised.
this year.
Yes.
UCB.
You're going to see a lot of bizarre things that are probably like you'll need therapy later, but it is worth it. It is worth it. How many
I
push-ups
even
can you
saw
crunk
Reg
at?
Talk's wand, and he brought his other wand too.
Yeah. And I can do some cool tricks with them.
Yeah, both of them.
Some really neat stuff I can do. Wingardium Leviosa is one of them. I can lift things up. So this is another thing. If we're going to win Saturday, special teams. Now,
When
I don't know what this
when
guy.
y'all are gonna win?
Yeah, when we're going to win. This is how you whiff on a tackle. So run as fast as you can, and then totally eat shit. There you go. Lets this guy get to the outside. Because Dominique Blaylock has looked really good in punt returns.
Yeah.
So that gives them great
I
field
love the way our
position.
special teams is doing. Mhm.
And he deserves the best. That's a Georgia boy. He deserves the best.
Brent Key said he beat that out of him and Seether, so we're not acknowledging where they
Good.
came from.
But listen, special teams can put you in a hole quick. I mean,
Look at Georgia Tech the past few years.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I'm about to say Miami's been a good example of that too.
Yeah, this is inexperience at the quarterback. You should not take a sack here. He's outside. Just throw it away. I mean, you're not more athletic than that guy that just threw you around like a rag doll. I can tell you that. And we had an extra point block. That would be huge. What if we won this by a point off a blocked extra point?
Hey, I've seen Miami lose a football game by extra point being blocked.
Soft coverage again.
Yeah, extra points will get you.
Oh, here.
Shoot.
Guys, why does he throw it out here? I did this in the breakdown. I've never seen a guy this wide open since Collins was coaching us. For some reason, he don't throw it to him though.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Because they're in cover 3. I mean, I don't know how you get beat. And look how much time he had. They stunt. Now they do stunt. Ole Miss does here. With the
X with the
inside
3 technique.
And they pick it up well. Look at that. That guy washes off. They go out to pick him up. So that's how you take care of a stunt, right, Joe?
Yep, that's textbook right there. The guard passed it off to the center. Center picked him up, and the guard rocked back to take the looping man.
And look, this guy in the middle of the field is like, that should have been mine. This was my time to shine. What are you doing? But it looks more theatric when you throw it at the bottom of the screen, you know.
Yeah, well, I think that must have been drawn up for him to be open. And then, a guy at the top just happened to come free that play because there's no other reason not to hit that guy right in the middle.
Oh, they cross. Oh, it's a wheel. So basically, this guy's running the post, and then this guy's running the wheel. It's a real skinny wheel, though. But he must be wide receiver 1. I'm assuming that's why he threw it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I was interested to see if that was Amari Walton, but it was not. It was Amari Walton. Big play. That's going to be Saturday, Colby. Haynes King is a better quarterback than 12, and we have better wide receivers than Tulane does.
I know it, and I think the spread's like 19, maybe 18 right now?
It went from 20 to 18.
Yeah, it was 18
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah, I would
because,
hop all over Georgia Tech. Not money line, but I would drop all my money to for Georgia Tech to cover that.
Oh, he got popped.
But anyway, hey boys, I do have to go. I'm still gonna be listening, but thanks for having me on.
All right, appreciate it, Colby.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I squared up against Mike Vick this morning with picks, and this Ole Miss Georgia Tech game is my ringer. So don't let me down.
All right, can do.
I don't know if this is happening to anybody else, but my stream just went down.
Stream has been temporarily blocked because we detected video belonging to someone else. Oh, well.
If you're commenting over the top of it, I think if maybe you put like one of our faces or put your face or put like something in the video that alters it just a little bit, I think that gets around that.
It's real confusing sometimes.
But yeah, because I would have thought commenting over the top would have been enough, but
I absolutely see people comment over NFL videos and stuff's fine.
That's such horse crap, man. Like,
yeah.
I guess I have to restart it. Hold on.